Hey everybody, it's Master Galengeist here, bringing you my review for Spirits of Vengeance Issue 5, and this was a pretty good conclusion to the Spirits of Vengeance miniseries that they were doing, and it had a lot of good action scenes in it. So, we start off and we see Damon and Santana still talking with their father, him pretty much gloating and everything, trying to pretty much dare them to see what they can do. So they, of course, go off and they're like, well, we can't get into the Covenant because we're half demon, so how is this going to kind of go into effect? So they are able to meet up with Johnny and Blade and pretty much get into their plan since their father had talked about vengeance. Their trump card is that they were playing was, of course, the Ghost Rider. And they're going, alright, so that's the Covenant. We see Michael and Belith talking, and Michael, of course, suspects Belith of doing collusion and all that, him just feigning ignorance. And they're going, alright, so we gotta watch out for Necrodamus, and, of course, they're going, oh, you mean the one right there? Crap! So, of course, Johnny Ghost Rider's up, him and Blade decide to go after him, but while that's happening, Damon and Santana have to deal with this giant horde of demons coming at him, and it was really kind of cool to see Damon just let it loose and see him in his full power form, and him and Santana just whooping demon ass pretty well. So, as Ghost Rider and Blade are going after Necrodamus, they're about to get at him, but of course Razan comes and says, alright, last time I had an errand, this time you have my undivided attention. And I really like how they're able to draw the Ghost Rider here. I like the weird kind of elongated, fiery fluidity kind of feel he has, whereas Razan is more kind of stable and kind of solid, and just seeing him really kind of go out at it and try and take her out, being, hey, I don't care if you're half goddess or whatnot, you can still burn and all that, and she's giving it to him pretty well. So, while they're ending up fighting, Necrodamus is able to get through the barrier and all that. Right before it gets to a point where Necrodamus is about to unleash his trump card, Blade comes out of nowhere during the fight and frickin' throws his motorcycle and decides to hold off Razan while Johnny goes in to stop Necrodamus. And if there's any kind of like bad thing, it's I kind of wanted to see Blade kind of take on Razan a little bit, but we don't really see that because we see Necrodamus pretty much pull out a rocket launcher with the Judas silver in it, and Johnny's able to get in, and strangely enough, he's able to get into the Covenant, which presents some more interesting perspectives on his power of Zarathos and its relationship between heaven and hell, because him being able to enter the Covenant and the bubble, because we saw Damon try and get in after Johnny to try and help, and he couldn't. So this means he's neither an agent of heaven or hell. He could potentially be more of a cosmic entity or more of an outside kind of third arbiter of vengeance kind of thing. So him getting in, he's able to absorb the impact of the silver missile, and Necrodamus is like, oh god, Belith's like, oh whatever. Covenant's over, he goes out, Johnny gets back up and goes, hey, vengeance is my domain, dropping out the silver and everything, and Michael's like, well, I guess we're done here, and he goes, nope, I still have to charge my duty, and as he's about to use his penance stare on Necrodamus, Razan swoops in and saves him and says, now that I've saved you, we're even now. So, that leaves her on the field to be another kind of villain, so I hope that she's used later on, because half-goddess, daughter of Osiris, interesting kind of magical villain. I'd like to see her used in other kind of things and see what she can do on her own. Necrodamus, he was being used by the demons involved, and he kind of wanted to assume a greater stance, so it'll be interesting to see if he's brought back in as well to do any kind of thing. And then our heroes get kind of a quick rundown of how this was all to occur and what are the kind of ramifications. Damon explaining that since Judas thought he was wronged by Jesus and everything that occurred, that he had vengeance, so they used the spirit of vengeance to kind of negate it and kind of cleanse it. And going, okay, he judged Judas's sins to be greater and removed the Judas sin from the coin. So, okay, that's kind of cool. And then they're bringing up to Michael being like, it's kind of a pretty big mistake to have man be able to meddle with the covenant. And he goes, well, that's the thing. It wasn't a mistake. Man has free will. Men have the free will to ruin this and destroy everything, and men have the free will to stop this. And that's what you guys did. You chose you have all these dark sides, but your human halves helped you stop this thing. And that was kind of cool. And saying that the reason Daemon and Satana's father doesn't understand that heaven's not trying to win it. They're trying to make sure that mankind wins it. And I really kind of like that. That was a really cool point for them to make and go, that works out, because we had seen the angels come in and help Daemon and Satana take on the horde of demons and have them go and try and help out if they could. And that makes a lot of sense, because they're going, well, this seems like a pretty big mistake to have. Well, if you give man free will, it's not really a mistake. They have the freedom to choose to be stupid and try and ruin everything, or they have the option to be selfless and try and protect what's going on. And Michael going off and saying that heaven owes each of you a favor, that opens up some possibilities that could be used later on, being like, well, what if each of these heroes needs some kind of interesting favor going on? So I hope other writers get into that and think of that. And of course we get towards the end shot of them going, well, what are we going to do with all this silver? And I thought it was a pretty good way to wrap it up. It was a pretty cool conflict, and I like how it used Ghost Rider, Daemon, Satana, and Blade pretty effectively. I wish that there was a little bit more Blade in it, potentially, but otherwise than that, I think this was really cool, focusing on the darker kind of aspects of the Marvel supernatural realm, and I hope that they kind of do some more of this going on, and I'm really looking forward to the new Ghost Rider that they're going to be doing. I don't know if that's a mini-series or whatnot, but that's looking pretty cool, and I don't know how much it's going to be tied in with Damnation, because we see Ghost Rider and Damnation, we see a lot of other ones, and I wonder how that's going to affect it, but I'm really looking forward to that, and I thought this was a pretty good series. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.